Hey guys, it's Becky here, and welcome to our week 8 of our 12-week journey through the Celebration of Discipline by Richard Foster. There it is. If you haven't already, 100% I recommend first going to read his chapter on service. It is so good. He does an incredible job of just capturing what service is and what it isn't, and just breaking off a lot of the stereotypes around that, and just really look into the Bible and what the Bible has to say on that. So read that. But if that's a little bit, you don't have the book, or you're joining us in the journey without it, that's totally fine. Each week we are writing a blog which is trying to sum up that chapter and just keep you in the loop. So you can find that on our website or follow the link in our bio if you're watching this through Insta. But 100% read the blog or read the chapter first. It is just, I think the team and I have just often been reflecting as we've been on this 12-week journey, just how utterly profound it is we have found it for ourselves in our walk with Jesus. I think we hear the phrase discipline, like a celebration of discipline, like, oh gosh, like discipline isn't something that is necessarily always joyful. We think of it as more of like a punishment maybe, or we discipline a child or a dog when it does something wrong. But actually it's just a gentle process of God's love for us, of wanting us to live in the fullness he has for us, and service absolutely being one of those. So yes, service. I think the most true and beautiful example we can see of God and Jesus in trying to understand service is through his example of him getting down, getting dirty and washing our feet. Jesus washing the disciples' feet. That was taking the place of a servant, and there are so many more cultural concepts and understandings that we probably miss in our 21st century understanding of that, which Jesus just pushed aside and was like, do you know what, this is what greatness is. He totally redefined it. He defined it as service. And of course, if that is Jesus, the God of the universe, the Son of God, if that is who he is, and he's getting down to wash our feet, then who are we to think we're too and high and mighty for that? I think sometimes we read that, and the challenge of that, of to serve and to be servants, we sometimes think, oh gosh, right then, I guess I better join every team on church. I better stack those chairs. I'm going to serve that coffee. Get me on the kids team, despite the fact kids probably aren't my number one passion. That might be our response, but actually our response should be just to come to him and just be awed by his love for us. Like, he serves out of love for us. Like, he says, God so loved the world, he sent his son, this son who came, and he didn't stay as the king on the throne on earth, like ruling over, but he came and he served, he loved. And our response should be to love, and out of that love for Jesus, not help, but to love those around us, to serve them as his children, to serve. And I think quite easily that sounds wonderful in practice, in principle, sorry, but in practice, I know we so easily can think, this is me being very, very vulnerable here. Oh gosh, like, I've been serving away, no one's noticed it, no one's appreciated. And quite early on, Richard Foster just challenges us on that. I know I felt super challenged by this, of the difference between self-righteous service and true service. And true service comes from a place of knowing the divine other, as that quote which we've had for this week you might have seen on the Insta or Facebook. But it comes from knowing him first. And other sort of service, the one which we don't want to be veering into, self-righteous service, that comes from ourselves, trying to fulfill ourselves. And we don't want to be people who fall into that trap. We want to be first fixing our eyes on Jesus. And that is so challenging. I don't know about you. I'm just, even again, as I discuss this, just feeling challenged. But yeah, I think it's really beautiful how he breaks down, Richard Foster says, breaking down service, that there are 9 different sorts. And this week I've been trying to practice this challenge. And in this season of coronavirus, it definitely looks different to serve. I'm trying to step into the practical gap in my house. I'm here in my parents' house, and I've been trying to think, can I first serve my parents? Can I be first to empty the dishwasher without being asked? But wider than that, I've been that's the service of the small things, but trying to step into bearing the burdens of one another. I think never before in this season have we needed service more. I think if we look to this world where we've seen a heartbreaking number of people die because of this virus, we've seen such financial insecurity and such unprecedented, as the BBC loves to say, times for families, for livelihoods, for whole people groups. And we just want to be people who are serving them, who are loving as much as we can. And I think, you know, we look around and we probably can think of so many people who would who desperately feel burdened, who are burdened by life. And challenge myself has been through the reading this chapter has been how can I serve them? And it probably would have looked before about being able to be practical and things that might have looked like dropping off a meal at their front door, or something I've been practicing this week is picking up the phone, probably something not all of us millennials love to do at times, and just being like, how are you doing? Just offering a listening ear when it's probably felt really hard, or, you know, words of comfort, trying to bear those burdens with them. And I would just so love to challenge you, if you haven't already, to just step into service in this season. Like, as I've mentioned and alluded to, never before have we probably needed service more, to serve those around us and just to be light bearers for the kingdom of God. So how are you serving this week? If you haven't already, 100% check out the blog and the chapter, and let's be serving the world around us.